Towards the end of World War II, Japan showed no sign of surrendering in the Pacific theater. The United States needed a mighty weapon in order to get the upper hand in the war. On August 6, 1945, President Harry Truman decided to drop the first atomic bomb over the city of Hiroshima. Once the atomic bomb detonated over Hiroshima, the explosion's impact instantly killed approximately 80,000 people, and later killed many more due to radiation. 3 days later, a second bomb would be detonated over Nagasaki. The dropping of the atomic bombs broke barriers by bypassing technological and military standards to create a new power source that would finally end World War II and begin the start to the Cold War with a new deadly force. September 1st, 1939, Germany invaded Poland, which started World War II. On December 7th, 1941, Japan bombed the U.S. military base, Pearl Harbor, which led the Pacific Naval Fleet. On December 11, 1941, the United States declared war on Japan. Germany responded quickly by declaring war during the same day on the United States and completely brought the United States into the war.
I ask that the Congress declare that since the unprovoked and dastardly attack by Japan on Sunday, December 7th, 1941, a state of war has existed between the United States and the Japanese Empire.
In the beginning of the 1930s, the world began to advance in technology and science. Through the mid-1930s and 1935s, many discoveries were made with new elements such as the discovery of heavy hydrogen in 1931 by Harold Urey and the discovery of fission on January 26, 1939 by Niels Bohr. These discoveries fueled the start of a new type of technology that was capable of things no one could imagine at the time. The beginning of the Manhattan Project began in 1939. On January 6, 1939, a man by the name of Niels Bohr announced his discoveries of nuclear fission, which was found at the University of Chicago. Robert J. Oppenheimer, a United States physicist, announced the idea of using these new discoveries for military reasons. A few months later, on August 2, 1939, a German physicist by the name of Albert Einstein wrote a famous letter to President Roosevelt in the United States saying that uranium could be used as a powerful source of energy. Later in his letter, Einstein warned the United States of Adolf Hitler, tasking a team of scientists with creating the power to make nuclear weapons. Einstein said in his letter that I understand Germany has actually stopped the sale of uranium from Czechoslovakian mines, which she has taken over. That she should have taken such early action might perhaps be understood on the ground that the son of German Undersecretary of State von Weizsäcker is attached to the Kaiser Wilhelm Institute in Berlin, where some of American work on uranium is now being repeated. This letter frightened President Roosevelt. Roosevelt knew that with the new discoveries of energy, the Allies in the United States needed to begin efforts of making an atomic bomb. President Roosevelt authorized the Manhattan Project on December 28, 1942, in order to begin creating an atomic weapon for the war. The leader of these efforts was scientist Robert Oppenheimer. He was accompanied by many other scientists from around the world, such as Edward Teller. After the war, Edward Teller was known as one of the fathers of the atomic bombs. In 1942, in a small town of Oak Ridge, Tennessee, a secret city was created. This secret city was the location of where the atomic bomb would be created. Many people did not know what was going on in their town with the atomic bomb. The Manhattan Project was a top secret project, and no regular citizen knew about this project. The only way this project would be successful is if only people who were working on it knew about it. Colonel Leslie Groves was named the head of the Manhattan Project. In addition to Oak Ridge, Tennessee, Los Alamos was a major factory of the creation of the atomic bomb. After creating the atomic bomb at Los Alamos, 200 miles away, a test bomb was dropped. It was a successful drop, and the next step was to drop the bomb on Japan. Around the country, there were other smaller factories in Hanford and Richland. In Hanford, scientists created plutonium, in Richland, scientists created enriched uranium.
The first bomb was tested by lead physicist Robert Oppenheimer at the Los Alamos facility in the middle of the desert in New Mexico.
Nicknamed Fat Man, it was almost 11 feet long and weighed more than 10,000 pounds. Many felt it would never work. Others were concerned that it would, and would end the world. On July 16, 1945, both sides were proven wrong as the world's first atomic bomb was exploded. The explosion sent a giant mushroom cloud 41,000 feet high in the New Mexico sky. The detonation of Fat Man in the summer of 1945 soon led to the...
After having great success in the Trinity test, the scientists produced 2 more bombs without knowing where they would be dropped. The 2 bombs were named Fat Man and Little Boy. The Fat Man bomb weighed in at 10,300 pounds and was made to produce a 22 kiloton blast to Kokura, which was the intended target instead of Nagasaki, whereas Little Boy was made for Hiroshima and was 9,700 pounds. They had to make special planes that were significantly lighter with much bigger gas tanks and bigger drop doors so the bombs would be able to fit.
Starts from Tinian in the Marianas. The crew has had their final briefing on weather and air-sea rescue. Only yesterday they have been told of the true power of the weapon they are to carry. The massive bomb has been loaded. At 2:45 in the morning, August 6, 1945, Colonel Tibbets takes the Enola Gay down the runway into the air, beginning the 6.5 hour flight.
Hiroshima was the target for the bomb Little Boy because it was the biggest weapon facility for Japan, so it would be the biggest lost. The intended target for the bomb Fat Man was Kokura, but because it wasn't a clear day, the bombers dropped the bomb too early and it instead destroyed Nagasaki. Truman admitted that it was morally wrong and that it was a quick way to end a long-lasting war, even though it completely destroyed these 2 cities.
Having ignored American demands for surrender, the Japanese were now to experience the effects of a new weapon of destruction. Atom bombs were to be dropped on Hiroshima and Nagasaki. Japanese reported, suddenly a glaring light appeared in the sky. In seconds, thousands of people were scorched by a wave of searing heat. Many were killed instantly, others lay writhing on the ground, screaming in agony. By evening, the fire began to die down, and then...
These 2 bombs completely destroyed Hiroshima and Nagasaki. Thousands of buildings and people were disintegrated all at once as a result of the immense heat that the bombs generated. Japan surrendered within a couple of days of this daring attack on 2 of their major cities. With Japan surrendering, the war was brought to an end, and even though it was a very risky and big attack all at once, it ended the war fast, which is what Truman wanted. Truman received a lot of criticism for his decision, and he took all of the blame for it because in the end, he was the one who decided to drop it and shed blood. These 2 bombs will forever be known in history as the bombs that changed the entire world because they brought a new weapon into the world that was technologically and scientifically more powerful than anything ever created.